Hello and welcome back, my friends. You know, every once in a while I share with you a piece of information that has the opportunity to change the way you garden entirely. This is one of those things. I feel like it can make a positive difference for many of you out there, especially those that live in a drier climate. You got lots of watering that you need to do to keep your garden thriving throughout the summer months. I'm going to be sharing with you a really simple way that you can conserve up to 50% of the water necessary to grow plants in your garden throughout your landscape. You're not going to want to miss this episode. So I'm over here at my little plant propagation station. It's mobile, so I set it up over here in the shade. We're at the latter part of the day, and I'm just going to wind down by doing a bit of up potting, transplanting some seedlings that I got going recently. So here we've got some sugar baby watermelon. And these seedlings are perfect for transplanting. If you're using these peat pellets, one of my favorite ways to start seeds, so easy, streamlines the operation. Once you see those roots starting to poke out the bottom, you don't want to wait too long. They can actually start to grow into each other, and then you could damage the root while you're removing it from whatever container that you're starting your peat pellets in. But generally speaking, when you start to see your sprouts pop up an inch or two, they're ready to go. And for those of you that have been following along, you've seen this process before, but just quickly I want to show you all the different things that I have over here to get growing. I've got some plastic cups. Any seed starting pots will work. 4-inch pots are great. I've got my mycorrhizal inoculant. This is just going to help get those roots off to a wonderful start, help to reduce transplant shock. I have my electric spray bottle. I like to finish off my planting with this. When I first start watering the soil in, I just use a little watering can. Then I've got some good potting mix here. Then I've got this pumice, which is a volcanic rock, super absorbent, contains minerals and nutrients good for your plants as well. And by putting a little mulch layer on top of my seed cups here, this is going to prevent fungus gnats from laying their eggs that hatch into larvae. And this all happens very quickly. They can then begin to eat the young tender roots of your plants while they're trying to grow. It can stunt the growth and it can kill the plant. But the main purpose of this video, I'm going to share with you something very low cost and effective that you can add in when starting your seeds. You can even use this in the garden in many different ways. And what this is going to do is help to reduce your watering needs by up to 50%. So to accomplish that, we're going to be using a bit of this Soil Moist. This is a professional granular made for agricultural uses. And what this is, often referred to as hydrogel or aquagel, is cross-linked polymer. And when you mix this into the soil, whether it's into a potted plant or directly into the landscape, it'll begin to hydrate when you add moisture. It's almost like a jello consistency. So once it absorbs all that moisture, it's then going to slowly release that into the soil, helping to keep it nice and moist over a long period of time. Now there's several different brands that create this type of a product, and there's many different uses. I shared with you in a recent video where I got these plant watering bags or mats that are full with this material, and you soak them in water, they hydrate, they balloon up, and you can put it around the base of your fruit trees and shrubs and potted plants, and that is going to slow feed the tree or the plant for up to 30 days. So again, this is all about streamlining your operation, conserving water. Maybe you've got an area of the yard that's very far from the house. You don't get out there too often, gets a lot of sun. These type of technologies or advancements in gardening can be a wonderful thing for you, helping you to have success in the garden and grow an abundance of food and ornamental crops. And real quick, my friends, if you're enjoying today's video, you found it helpful or entertaining in any way, do us a favor and smash that thumb button if you would. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. New uploads every week, sometimes every day, and we're always giving you updates on all the different things growing on around here. And if you tap that notification bell, that's going to keep you in the loop. You'll never miss a future episode that way. And if you'd be so kind as to shoot us a comment, we really would appreciate it. We read them all. It helps the channel to grow. Thank you, everybody. Now this particular item you can buy in bulk. It comes in an 8-pound bucket. And what's wonderful about it is it came with these instructions here for all different sorts of applications and the amount of the product, what you're going to need to accomplish whatever it is you're doing, whether it's applying it in the landscape, if you're running some sort of a greenhouse nursery, or just a gardener in general. And it comes with a conversion chart so that you can figure out how much to add in versus how much soil or area of landscape that you're applying to. So for this process where I'm up potting my seedlings, I like to start off with a good bagged potting mix. And some of these potting mixes actually come with this material already mixed into it, which is why it's able to retain moisture for a longer period of time. In this case, this doesn't have it in there. It's usually a premium to buy it that way. So adding it in yourself can be a money saver. So for most of these bag potting mix, which are 32 quarts, it's going to require about 2.2 tablespoons of this granular material mixed in. And if I get 2 full 5-gallon buckets out of 1 bag of potting mix, then a little over a tablespoon mixed in is going to do it. So as you can see here, a little goes a long way. You really do get a lot of value out of this. That'll do it. And we'll mix this in. This isn't the best way to do this, obviously. If you can use a bigger vessel, it's easier to get a nice consistency. But since we're filming, just wanted to keep it simple here. So I've got my seed starting pots here, my plastic cups. And I do apologize if this is repetitive for some of my regular viewers, but there are a lot of new folks to the channel, so I'm just going to quickly go over with you. If you do decide to use these, and you can get many, many years of use out of these plastic cups, very cheap way to go about starting seedlings. All you need to do to create drainage is cut a slit on either side with a pair of scissors, and you're going to have adequate drainage in that cut. So I'm just going to go through and quickly fill my cups about 1/2 to 3/4 of the way with this potting mix. Okay, so now we've got our pots set up here, and the first thing I like to do is moisten the soil. So just a little watering can to do that. This is also going to activate those granular hydrogels that we just added into the potting mix. Next, I'm going to add in a little bit of the mycorrhizal inoculant. And what this is going to do, as I had mentioned, is reduce transplant shock. And it's going to extend the roots of these plants all throughout the cup, creating these little hyphae strands, like a white netting it's almost going to look like. And once we actually transplant this into the garden, it's going to continue to run throughout whatever you're planting in, whether it's a raised bed or directly into the ground. And it's going to allow your roots of your plants to reach out much further to take up nutrients and moisture. So, very valuable product. I highly recommend you look into it. This works for just about every type of plant, other than those in the brassica family and plants like amaranth. So don't use this on kale, collards, cabbage, or amaranth, but just about everything else it's going to work. All right, now we'll take our seedlings here in the Jiffy peat pots, and we'll just place these. Look at those beautiful roots. I've had folks comment about these peat pots, asking me if I remove this material here. No, I don't need to do that at all. The roots go right through this stuff. No issue with that at all. See, even those little fine roots, they poke right on through. So no need to go through that extra step. Now I'm just going to add some soil. I don't mind about making a mess here because I can just scoop off my tabletop right back into the bucket. So you see how quick and easy it is to start growing at home. Now I'm going to finish watering these transplants in, and what I really love to use for that is this electric sprayer. It's not necessary, but I love it because I'm able to rinse off the added soil that's on the leaves of the plants and also kind of clean up the cups at the same time without disturbing the soil too much, which is especially helpful if you're planting seeds. It also allows you to kind of flatten out the soil surface. Real nice. And now we'll keep these in dappled shade for the next few days while they adjust and heal into their new home here. And that's all there is to it, just a simple added step where you can add in a little bit of this product and hopefully reduce watering by up to 50%, which again is not just about water conservation, which is wonderful, but it's about time conservation. And as I mentioned, there's a lot of other ways to apply this product directly into the landscape even, and it has a 3 to 5 year lifespan. So you're going to get So for 3 to 5 years, this stuff is going to continue to absorb moisture, whether it's coming from the hose or from the natural rains, and it's going to slow feed that to your plant, helping to keep the soil moist, preventing it from drying out. Especially helpful in dry, arid climates like the desert, for example. And another great thing about buying in bulk like this is that you're going to save a lot of money, but you can actually create your own off-grid smart watering mats. If you missed the previous episode where I showed you exactly what I'm talking about, let me show you now. So here we've got this beautiful almond tree. Once again, eat your green almonds. They're delicious. Dip them in a little salt too. Watery, crunchy. And almonds like a lot of water. So I put one of these bags here at the base of the tree. This is full of that gel material. This is just a weed block with another type of fabric on the bottom. And you can see the moisture there seeping out of the bottom fabric. That's going to slow feed until that mat becomes flat, at which point it can either get rehydrated just by some rains coming in, or you can just lay a hose here on a slow drip for about 5 to 10 minutes and it should rehydrate according to the instructions. And if you want to watch the full video where I go over these smart watering mats in entirety, check the links below in the description box. I'll have that video along with all the different products that I mentioned today if you want to check them out. But those bags are a bit pricey. I do find them, however, to be a good investment. But if you've got some sewing skills, you could definitely pick up a few materials and create these for a very low cost, perhaps even start a side business. And I hope at least one of you all do that. I know somebody wrote in saying they were thinking of doing it. I think it's a great idea. You can make these custom shapes. Obviously, the larger your tree, the further out the drip line, so you'd need a larger ring for a larger tree. Anyways, if nothing else, hopefully I offered you some food for thought, just some things to think about. Maybe you can come up with your own unique ideas and ways to help to conserve water and cut back time in your garden. And look, my friends, I know I'm sharing with you a lot of tips and tricks that involve gadgets and fertilizers and things to get growing, but I just want to remind you that really the whole essence of gardening is simplification and having fun, and whenever you can do it for a low cost, you're always going to get the most reward out of that. So please take everything I share with you with a grain of salt. It's not all necessary. I went for years doing it pretty much bare bones style, and now just over the years I've come up with different techniques that I use that really help to streamline and give me good results. So I'm sharing those with you, but I want to encourage you to do your best to simplify and not get too involved with too many types of products and spending all this money in order to get growing. You can really just start with a seed pack, a little dirt, water it in, and start growing today. Well, that's going to do it for today, everyone. Hopefully I offered you some value for your time. Sure do appreciate you being here. So with that, I want to wish you all a great rest of your day. Until next time, this is Dan from plantabundance.com. Take care. I'll be talking to you again soon.